J-Bone here, and it is time to recap and review the bizarre 2023 Mexico City Grand Prix, which was both heartbreaking and inspiring. Let's kick things off with everybody's favorite summarization. Here's the 2023 Mexico City Grand Prix in 60 seconds. The starting grid was wild as it was a Ferrari front row lockout, then Max, then Daniel Ricciardo in an AlphaTauri somehow, then Checo. At lights out, Checo got a great launch and tried to put on a show for the home crowd by sending it into turn one for the lead, which sadly was too ambitious and resulted in Checo getting launched airborne and eventually retiring from the race, which was mega depressing. More chaos took place almost exactly halfway through the race as there was a red flag from K-Mag, that rhymed, who got Paul Blarded into the wall due to a rear suspension failure. This led to a standing restart where Max went off into the distance, never to be seen again until he won, but plenty of other cool stuff still happened. Yuki and Oscar could not stop hitting each other. Lando Norris gained a career-high 12 positions during the race to go from P17 to P5 and earn Driver of the Day honors. Daniel Ricciardo finished an astonishing P7 to give AlphaTauri their best result of the year and take them from last place in the constructors to 8th place. Lewis Hamilton finished P2 to inch ever closer to 2nd place in the World Drivers' Championship, and Ferrari still managed a podium finish from their front row lockout to not depress Ferrari fans everywhere. J-Bomb! Now let's dive into all that in a bit more detail. First and foremost, we need to talk about what just happened with Checo Perez at his home F1 race in Mexico. I'll try not to cry here, okay, but no promises. In case you missed it, Red Bull's Mexican Formula One driver, Checo Perez, started the Mexico City Grand Prix in 5th place after a disappointing qualifying session that saw him qualify behind Daniel Ricciardo, the man who's openly trying to replace him at Red Bull. However, Checo got off to an unbelievable race start and saw an opportunity to potentially take the lead of the race at turn 1, and then things all went wrong for him. There's just not enough room to go 3 wide into turn 1 at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez. So when Checo tried to make the turn, he came into contact with Charles Leclerc, who was pinched between Checo and Max Verstappen, and thus Leclerc had nowhere to go, and so Checo got launched. Upon seeing a replay of the incident, Lewis Hamilton commented, "He did a me in Qatar," which, yes. This collision with Leclerc cut a huge hole in Checo's right side pod and launched Checo's car airborne, ending his race before Checo could even complete one turn at a circuit filled with 100,000 plus Checo Perez fans. Just a truly all-around sad moment for Checo, his supporters, and F1 as a whole. After his retirement, Checo said this to reporters about the incident: "I'm aware that I took a big risk today, but I forgot about the championship and I forgot about everything else. I was only thinking about winning today. For me, a podium in Mexico would not have been enough. Today, I wanted to win, and when I had the chance, I risked it, and maybe risked too much, but I would do it again." You gotta respect Checo for sending it for the home win, even if the end result was devastating, especially for Checo, who has never been more at risk of losing his Red Bull seat than he is right now. Speaking of which, is Daniel Ricciardo about to replace Checo Perez at Red Bull Racing? The Mexico City Grand Prix could not have gone differently for AlphaTauri's Daniel Ricciardo and Red Bull's Checo Perez. Daniel Ricciardo had an absolutely incredible Mexico City Grand Prix weekend, miraculously qualifying P4 in Formula One's last place car, which was ahead of Checo Perez in P5 in Formula One's first place car, before Daniel Ricciardo finished the race P7 after a masterful drive to not only give AlphaTauri their best results of the season, but to also single-handedly take AlphaTauri from being F1's last place team to F1's 8th place team. On the other hand, Checo Perez had an absolutely awful Mexico City Grand Prix weekend that saw him get out qualified by Daniel Ricciardo and then not even make it past turn 1 during the Grand Prix as he went for that now infamous risky move at turn 1 that not only failed, but ended his home race at a time when he was already on thin ice at Red Bull. It's no secret that Daniel Ricciardo's sole goal in life at the moment, like the only thing he wants in the world, is to become a Red Bull driver once again. And I hate to say it, Checo fans, but that's looking like it could happen as early as next season with the form that Checo's currently in. Yes, Checo did win 2 of this season's first 4 races, but ever since then, he's been in arguably the worst form of his career. Checo has now not only been doubled up by his teammate Max Verstappen in the points department, literally Max has scored more than twice as many points as him this season, which is wild, but Checo is also less than 1 race worth of points away from losing his 2nd place position in the World Drivers' Championship to Lewis Hamilton. Red Bull have been very, very clear that finishing 1-2 in the World Drivers' Championship is something that is very important to them, as they've never done it despite all their other crazy, amazing team accomplishments. And if Checo squanders that opportunity for them for a 2nd year in a row, I fear that'll be the final nail in his Red Bull coffin. Do you Think Checo will be a Red Bull driver next year? Let me know in the comments right now. Like, go comment, seriously, do it. By the way, whether you're taking it all in from the couch or the grandstand, watching Formula One is just more fun when you're rocking some F1 themed gear like I am right now, and there's no better place for you to buy F1 inspired merch than the Formula Bone shop, where I offer a ton of awesome J-Bone designed designs that all ship globally and come in a bunch of sizes and colors. Yes, my merch ships all around the globe, wherever you live. So go check out the Formula Bone merch shop at the link in the description now and see if anything catches your eye. J-Bone! Next up, a couple Mexico City Grand Prix shoutouts are in order. First, shout out to Max Verstappen, who just broke his own record at the Mexico City Grand Prix. Last season, Max set a new record for the most wins in a single Formula One season when he stood atop the podium 15 times in 2022. And in Mexico City this past weekend, Max notched his 16th win of the 2023 season to set a new all-time single-season wins record that, I should note, is still in progress and looks like it may be unbeatable when all is said and done, given how much improvement we're seeing right now from McLaren, Mercedes, and Ferrari headed into the 2024 season. Second, shout out to Lando Norris for a monstrous drive in Mexico City. After qualifying went all wrong for Lando, he started the Mexico City Grand Prix P17, some Go TV stuff right there, which is not what he was expecting or hoping for after having just finished on the podium an insane 4 races in a row. Rather than getting mad though, Lando decided to get even, gaining a career-high 12 positions during the Grand Prix during a mega recovery drive that saw him finish P5 and earn Driver of the Day honors in the process. This dude just could not stop overtaking people and making them look like absolute fools. It was crazy. Speaking of absolute fools, let's check in with my producer and brother, Producer Jeff, who was at the Mexico City Grand Prix. Producer Jeff, radio check.
Hey J-Bone, when Checo got knocked out at turn 1 and didn't even make it to the 4-0 Sol, where all of us were waiting for him, I just got really sad. So I left and listened to the Mariachi F1 theme on loop.
Also, in case you didn't notice, I did change the title of this video to Grand Prix-cap from Grand Prix Recap because you all would not stop asking me to, and I finally caved in. And if this video gets 2,000 likes, I'll do it again for the next race recap. Go like the video. Next up, welcome to the Formula One rumor mill, where I give you the latest F1 rumors for you to take with a grain of salt. Let's talk about all these wild Fernando Alonso and Checo Perez rumors that just popped up out of nowhere. It all started right after the Mexico City Grand Prix when Spanish F1 insider Albert Fabregas sent out a cryptic tweet in Spanish that translates to English as follows: "I don't want to believe the rumor that they have told me just now in the paddock. No." F1 Twitter exploded with speculation all night long on account of this tweet from the generally very reliable Fabregas, and then continued to explode with speculation even more after Fabregas sent out a follow-up tweet the following morning that doubled down on the notion that there may be some massive news coming, which translates as follows: "Good morning, CDMX. I'm just going to say one thing about the rumor that I told you yesterday. From the tone of the text, it is understood that I would not like it to happen. From here, you can speculate as much as you'd like, and I hope it remains a rumor and not news. End of thread." All of this is generally being interpreted in one of 4 ways. 1, Fernando Alonso is retiring. 2, Checo Perez is retiring. 3, Checo Perez and Fernando Alonso are swapping seats, with Alonso headed to Red Bull and Checo headed to Aston Martin. 4, this is all just much ado about nothing. Personally, I think the most plausible rumor for Fabregas to have heard is that Alonso is retiring. This would explain why he is so strongly opposed to said rumor coming true, as he would not want to see his countryman Fernando Alonso out of F1, and also, I can see why Alonso may not want to stay with Aston Martin given the very downward trajectory they are currently on. Who knows though? You have the Twitter account for Red Bull Spain cryptically tweeting out the shh emoji, which adds fuel to the Alonso to Red Bull rumors, and a bazillion other wild accusations are also being thrown around right now. But as always, when it comes to the F1 rumor mill, make sure that you take all these rumors with a grain of salt. What do you think the rumor that Fabregas heard was? Let me know in the comments. Like right now, go comment. J-Bone commands you. Do it. Shout out to my amazing longtime sponsor, Indeed, who is a huge supporter of Formula Bone and is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one convenient place. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed is a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. It's a one-stop shop, baby. That's why I love Indeed. It makes hiring all in one place so easy because Indeed's hiring platform matches you with quality candidates instantly. Indeed is truly an unbelievably powerful hiring platform, and guess what? It's the #1 source of hires in the US, according to Talent Nest. #1, baby. #1. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/FBone. Offer good for a limited time, so get after it right there at Indeed.com/FBone. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/FBone. Go there and support the show by saying you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/FBone. That's FBONE. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Go there. Finally today, here's how my 3 bona fide race predictions fared at the 2023 Mexico City Grand Prix. My first race prediction was that Checo Perez would finish on the podium at his home Grand Prix in Mexico. This obviously did not happen in traumatizing fashion for those in attendance around the world and involved, I might add. And thus, if you are one of the haters and losers, of which there are many, who are currently cheering because J-Bone did not go 3 for 3, you have no soul. Sorry. I have no stroll on the brain because it's what I think Aston Martin's driver strategy should be. My second race prediction was that McLaren would not finish on the podium after 4 straight podium finishes, and ding ding, J-Bone got that one right. J-Bone! Lando had a phenomenal drive, but not phenomenal enough to make my second bona fide prediction not come true, which it did. And my third race prediction was that Alex Albon would finish in the points at the Mexico City Grand Prix, and ding ding, J-Bone also got that one right. J-Bone! For Albano, that's now back-to-back P9 finishes, 3 straight weekends in the points, and 4 out of the last 6 weekends in the points, which is absolutely remarkable and makes Albon a solid driver of the year frontrunner. Williams have a driver P13 in the World Drivers' Championship, okay? Williams have a driver P13 in the World Drivers' Championship. That is bonkers, considering they were last season's last place team. Go Albano. You rock. I love you. And I love you, James Fowles. I told you on the street I loved you. Nobody could have ever predicted that Checo would DNF after absolutely sending it at turn 1. So realistically, 2 out of 3, which is very good, is as good as I could have possibly done with these predictions. So well done, J-Bone. J-Bone! You also may remember that I predicted the Mexico City Grand Prix's top 5 finishers, and my predictions were as follows. P5, Carlos Sainz. P4, Lando Norris. P3, Checo Perez. P2, Lewis Hamilton. P1, Max Verstappen. And my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 was 4, 5, DNF, 2, 1. It's actually pretty good. I correctly predicted the top 2, as well as 4 out of the top 5 finishers. Not too shabby, okay? Just saying. J-Bomb! Subscribe now so that I can see you back here later this week for my Sao Paulo Grand Prix preview, where I'll tell you everything you need to know so that you can be fully prepared to enjoy this weekend's Sao Paulo Grand Prix at Interlagos. Special shout out to my top Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members at Rated Bookie, Glow, and Green Ghost. If you want your name shouted out in all my videos, along with a bunch of other awesome perks, hit up the Patreon and or YouTube channel member links in the description of this episode. Also, a reminder to go buy my merch at the link in the description. Do it now. It's amazing. You won't regret it. Until next time, folks, J-Bomb! J-Bomb!